What to expect when you're on probation in Dallas. First of all, probation can be something that's very intimidating if you've never been in trouble before. The purpose of this video is to kind of walk you through the general requirements to help you with some of that anxiety. When you're on probation in Dallas, you'll be assigned a probation officer. Depending on how long your probation lasts, whether it's 12 months, 15 months, more than that, you'll have to report each month to your probation officer. There's a $60 fee that you have to pay every month. When you add taxes to that, it comes out at a little over $61 per month. However, you'll be able to pay that probation fee online. So that part is convenient. What can be inconvenient though is sometimes probation officers will require you to report in person. Depending on where you live, they'll assign you to a probation office that's located close to your home. You will be required to take some classes, most likely, some education courses. When you meet with your probation officer monthly, that probation officer will want an update on where you are with your classes. That probation officer will want to talk to you about what's going on in your life. You might be drug tested. Most people on probation in Dallas County cannot use alcohol or illegal drugs. Now, if you have a prescription, that's okay, but you have to make sure you provide your prescription to your probation officer. Depending on your probation officer, most of the time, if you pass the first drug test, which will be given to you in the probation office when you show up the first time for probation, if you pass that, then you're not going to be required to keep taking tests. Now, if something comes up or you tell your probation officer that you're struggling with drugs, then they're probably going to test you more often. But most of the time, if you pass that first drug test, they're not going to require you to do repeated drug tests. The other things you're going to talk to about your probation officer is the probation officer just generally wants to know what's going on in your life to make sure that you're doing everything that you can do to be successful on probation. Now, are all probation officers going to be polite and professional? No, that's true in every profession. Just go in with the best attitude you can have possible. Make sure you're following all your probation conditions to the T. Make sure you're not using alcohol or drugs, and make sure you show up on time and report for probation monthly. The other thing that will happen is if you're doing really well on probation, you've completed all the classes, you haven't gotten rearrested for anything, you and your probation officer have a good relationship, sometimes you can ask your attorney to go to the court and be put on what's called pro forma probation. That's where you don't have to report for probation anymore. And if you're not having to report to a probation officer monthly anymore, then you don't have to pay that probation fee anymore. The last thing to understand about probation is that sometimes you can be discharged early. If you're on straight probation, that means that you pleaded guilty to a judge, the judge found you guilty, you're going to have to wait till 1/3 of your probation time before you can request to be discharged early from probation. If you're on deferred probation, meaning you pleaded guilty or no contest and the judge never found you guilty, say you get 12 months of deferred adjudication or 15 months of deferred adjudication, you can literally do 2 months of deferred adjudication probation and ask a judge to be discharged early. Now, is a judge going to discharge you early? No. Generally, you still want to wait till about half the time or 1/3 of the time, but there's no time limit. In other words, you can approach the judge at any point to ask to be discharged early from probation. Thank you for watching. If you or someone you know has a criminal case, give us a call at 214-903-4000. Otherwise, you can reach us at verghesetexas.com.